I spent the night alone in the most haunted village in America, and to say this place is cursed would be an understatement. I trekked out to the town of Amityville, New York, infamous for being the location of one of the most terrifying paranormal cases ever recorded. In 1975, a man named Ronald DeFeo went on a shooting spree, killing 6 members of his family with a shotgun. The home where the horrific crime took place is now known as the Amityville Horror House, and it's widely regarded as the most haunted house in the country. But if you think that's the only reason why I went there, you'd be dead wrong. See, not far from the house, there's another place that's even more haunted. A small village completely abandoned because it's infested with ghosts. Welcome to the real-life version of Silent Hill. As you can imagine, spending the night here was both terrifying and exhilarating. It was amazing to explore such a creepy place, but I couldn't help but regret my decision. Why? Well, let me tell you. But first, please don't forget to support us. The name of the ghost town is, well, you guessed it, Amityville. How fitting, right? It's situated just a few minutes away from the Amityville Horror House, yet it has its own haunting story to tell. It all started when the town's namesake, William Amity, purchased a large plot of land in the 1820s with plans to develop it into a community. However, he soon realized that the soil was contaminated by salt, rendering it unsuitable for farming. Faced with financial ruin, he turned to the local Native American tribe for assistance. They recommended a method to remove the salt from the ground by burning cedar oil, which they were familiar with. While it worked, the smoke from the fires attracted the attention of the U.S. military, who mistook them for hostile natives and opened fire, killing many. Those who survived fled to a nearby swamp, leaving behind the village, which had become uninhabitable due to the amount of salt. Over time, the town remained empty until the early 1900s, when a man named George Polson decided to revive it and renamed it to Amityville. He cleared the houses from the village and built his own mansion at the edge of the town. And while it might sound like a great idea, it turned out to be a huge mistake. You see, Polk's plan to make money off of the new settlement failed, so he was forced to sell his mansion and the entire town to a syndicate of businessmen. Now, what happened next is where things take a dark turn. You see, the syndicate never intended to actually build a town. They had bought the land solely for nefarious purposes. According to rumors, they used the homes in the village for illegal activities like gambling and prostitution. And they even lured unsuspecting victims to the area with false promises of land ownership. Many people were swindled out of their money before realizing the truth, while others were kidnapped and taken to the Poke Mansion, which became the center of satanic rituals. As you can imagine, the spirits of those exploited and abused did not find this amusing. And while it's hard to verify these claims, strange things have been reported near the mansion ever since it was demolished in 1976. People have reported seeing figures, dressed in 1920s clothing, walking along the road or standing on street corners. Some have even witnessed ghostly apparitions inside the buildings themselves. Now, we've covered the Poke Mansion before, but the horrors don't end there. There are also reports of strange lights and sounds coming from the woods surrounding the area. Locals claim that these are the spirits of those killed in the massacre, warning us not to disturb their final resting place. After hearing all this, I gotta admit I felt a shiver down my spine, but I'm not one to back down from a challenge. So I decided to spend the night in one of the abandoned homes. It was pretty creepy exploring the deserted streets and vacant houses, each one filled with creaking floorboards and cobwebs. As darkness fell, I started hearing strange noises like footsteps and whispers, although I didn't dare investigate. To be honest, it felt like every room was watching me, even though no one could have been inside. I decided to play some old-school horror movie music to keep my mind off the unsettling silence, and for a moment it worked. Then suddenly, I heard a loud crash, followed by what sounded like screams in the forest. I tried to dismiss it as just my imagination, but then I saw something moving outside the window. It was a full moon night, and the trees were swaying, but there was something eerie about the way they were moving, almost like they were dancing to a macabre tune. I couldn't help but wonder if I was really alone in that house. As the night wore on, the temperature dropped significantly, and I started to feel uneasy. That's when I noticed a rocking chair moving on its own in the corner of the room. At first I thought maybe the house had settled or maybe the wind had blown open the window, but when I checked, Everything was still and secure. It was just the chair gently rocking back and forth. And then there were the whispers. At first, they were faint and distant, like leaves rustling in the wind. But as the night went on, they grew louder and more insistent. I could hear voices murmuring just outside the house, as if someone was trying to communicate with me. It was around this time that I began to regret my decision to stay in the house. It was one thing to hear strange noises and see unexplained phenomena, but it was quite another to feel like I was being watched, studied by unseen eyes. I tried to distract myself by playing music, but nothing could drown out the sound of my own heartbeat, which seemed to be echoing in my ears. By now I was desperate for some distraction. So I decided to look out the window to see if I could identify the source of the noise. As I peered into the darkness, I could have sworn I saw a figure standing at the edge of the light, staring directly at me. I quickly looked away, my heart racing. But when I turned back, the figure was gone. I spent the rest of the night huddled in the corner of the room, trying to convince myself that everything I was experiencing was just a figment of my imagination. But as the first rays of sunlight peeked through the curtains, I realized that I had survived the night, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief wash over me. As I stepped out of the house, I noticed strange markings on the ground, and I couldn't help but wonder if they were messages left by the spirits that had inhabited this place so long ago. Each symbol seemed to tell a story of a life lived, a tragedy endured, and a soul lost. It was a sobering reminder of the weight of history and the toll it takes on those who come after. As I continued to explore the village, I came across a weathered headstone hidden in the underbrush. The inscription read, "In loving memory of those who perished here." I couldn't help but wonder who exactly they were referring to. Were they the victims of the satanic rituals? The townspeople who died of disease? Or perhaps the Native Americans who were massacred on this very spot? It was a chilling sight, and I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of sadness for those who had suffered and died here. Their stories may have been lost to time, but their presence was still felt in the very air I breathed. As I made my way back to the car, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Glancing over my shoulder, I could have sworn I saw a figure standing at the edge of the woods, silhouetted against the morning light. Was it just a trick of the fading light? Or was there really something sinister lurking in the shadows? As I drove away, I could see the ghost town in my rearview mirror. I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease, knowing that I had spent the night in a place where so much suffering had occurred. I hoped that whatever spirits had made their home here would find peace, but I couldn't help but wonder if that was even possible in a place as cursed as Amityville. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling tales and spine-chilling adventures. Now tell me, would you dare spend the night in an abandoned ghost town? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.